Hey there guys, so today's video is going to be a mood reading vlog. I'm going to be mood reading for the next week because I finished Releasing 10 last night by Chloe Walsh, and I fear if I decide to stick to my TBR right now, I'm going to slump out because I still honestly don't want to read a goddamn thing right now. But I think if I mood read, I will want to continue to read. And I think, like, after we read books that just hit us so hard, like, that give us, like, a serious book hangover, or, like, they just hit us so hard emotionally that it's really hard to continue reading in general. I don't know if anybody else feels like that, but honestly, like, books like Onyx Storm and Blood Over Bright Haven and the Beartown trilogy for me, those all I felt like I was going to slump out if I didn't decide to mood read. But I feel like for this book specifically, I was crying so much last night when I finished it because that book was so heavy and such dark topics were covered and shown very graphically in Releasing 10. So please check your trigger warnings. And also, I can't even rate the book yet either because people are still, restricting the ratings on that book, and it's just ridiculous at this point. Didn't I fill this back up? I'm like, it's tasting real warm. But anyway, we are going to mood read this week. I actually think I can squeeze these books in and then go back to my TBR next week because I'm actually not reading a certain series that I was supposed to read next week. I was actually going to stick to like some literary fictions this week, but I think I'm going to do that next week. I need to read my thrillers and like genres that I love in order to keep on reading. Because honestly, again, I didn't even feel like picking up a damn book after Releasing 10 was over. So the book that is not coming out next week that I wanted to read the first two books in order to read the third one is the third book in the Bloodwing Academy series, and the first book is called On Wings of Blood. I always want to sing. Yeah, let's sing it. On Wings and Blood, but I think it's called On Wings of Blood. The third book, it was supposed to come out June 15th, I believe. A lot of books are coming out the 15th and the 17th next week, but I only have one release on the 17th that I am excited to read. But, which is Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. But I'm going to mood read this week, and then I'm going to go into most of the books that are on my TBR next week, and then we can probably end the week with Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. And then my plan is just to read the Ember in the Ashes series for the last, 5 or 6 days of the month. Like I said, if I just read the first two books in that series, then we can end the month with those and then start the last two books the first week of July. So anyway, we are going to mood read this week. I have one kind of general fiction with a subplot of romance. I have a thriller, and I have a YA fantasy. I find that if I go into a really short book, a thriller, and a YA fantasy, I think that will help me continue reading because you guys know I love YA fantasy. They're just so much faster paced than regular fantasy books. I find that romantasy is pretty fast paced. If I'm enjoying the worlds and the characters, I get through them pretty quickly. So anyway, and of course thrillers are way faster paced than most other genres. I mean, thrillers are literally the fastest. So the first book I'm going to pick up is One Italian Summer by Rebecca Surley. This is such a short read. It's only 233 pages. I don't even think this is going to take me more than maybe 2 days tops. I haven't started reading it today yet, but I'm about to. I just thought this sounded so good. And it's been sitting on my TBR since April, which is not that long. There's two other books that have been on my TBR for quite a bit longer. So this one says, when her mother dies, Katie Silver is left reeling. Carol wasn't just her mom. She was Katie's best friend and her first phone call. Carol had all the answers. To make matters worse, the mother-daughter trip of a lifetime looms. 2 weeks in Positano. Following the very same route Carol did as a young woman. Katie had been waiting years for Carol to take her And now suddenly she is faced with going on this adventure alone. But as soon as Katie steps foot on the Amalfi Coast, things begin to change. She is buoyed by the stunning cliffsides, incredible food, and charming hotel staff. I was about to say staff. What am I, British now? And then the impossible happens. Carol appears for real in the flesh, healthy and suntanned and 30 years old. Katie doesn't understand what is happening or how, but over the course of her time in Italy, Katie gets to know Carol in this new form, and soon she must reconcile the mother she loved with the young woman she is meeting for the very first time. So I'm very excited to get to this one. I read expiration dates back in, I believe it was February, so I haven't picked up one of her books in a hot second, and I really want to read this. My book bestie Felicia raves about her books. She absolutely loves them, and she's read all 3 of them, so I'm really excited to get to that one. And like I said, a super short, easy, like little romance / regular fiction, because her books aren't in the romance section, they're in the general fiction section. I think I'm really going to like this one. So I'm really excited for that one. And then the next one is I See You by Claire McIntosh. And this is a thriller. I've been really wanting to get into Claire McIntosh's books. I haven't read any of her books yet. I've been, like I said, I've been very up and down with thrillers this year. The same thing as last year. Like, I don't really read too many thrillers anymore because usually the adult thrillers are just so disappointing. And the only thriller author that I have actually been creeped out by and really impressed by her books this year was Alice Feeney, because I really enjoyed Rock, Paper, Scissors, and I really loved Beautiful Ugly. That was probably my favorite thriller that I read this year. They were both incredible reads that I really just want to give another British author a try. And also John Mars's You Killed Me First. It's just like the British know how to do thrillers so much better than American authors. I'm sorry, but some of the American written thriller authors are just not very good. So this one just sounds so good. It says, it all starts during her commute home one night. Zoe Walker glances through her local paper and sees her own face staring back at her in a classified ad. With the grainy photo is a phone number and a listing for a website called findtheone.com. In the following days, she sees other women in the same ad, a different one every day, and nearly all of them, show up in the newspapers as victims of increasingly violent crimes, including murder. With the help of a determined cop, Zoe uncovers the ad's twisted purpose, and suddenly, the man on the train sitting across the car, the one smiling at Zoe, could be more than just a friendly stranger. He could be someone who has deliberately chosen her and is ready to make his next move. That sounds really good. I'm really excited for that one. And then the last one is a YA fantasy book, and this one is called Somewhere in the Deep by Tanvi Barwa. Sorry if I'm butchering the author's name. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. But this one really intrigued me and one of my friends. And this is supposed to be epic fantasy, I guess. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was just like regular fantasy, but we'll see if it scratches my epic fantasy itch, because I just finished His Face is the Sun last night, as well as Releasing 10. And that book was really good too, by Michelle Jabez Corpora. It was still really good, but I was hoping for it to be a little bit more epic, so maybe this will scratch my itch. This one says, something lives in the darkness, something with teeth. I think I've read this synopsis like 3 times at this point, but I'll read it again. It says, 17-year-old Crescent Dune is buried under the weight of her dead parents, and the ruinous legacy they left behind. The only way she can earn money to escape her unforgiving island is by battling monstrous creatures in an underground firing pit. After a fight goes terribly wrong, she's banned from the pits. Now hopeless, she is offered a deal. In exchange for the erasure of her debts, she must join and protect a hunting party for a rescue mission deep within the mining caves beneath the island. Crescent is determined to keep her head down and fulfill her role as a dutiful bodyguard, even though she is trapped underground with her childhood enemy and a company of people who would gladly kill her if they knew who her parents were. As the group comes across creatures she believed only existed in legends, becomes clear that they are far more in danger than she could have imagined. But someone doesn't want her to make it out alive, and she'll have to figure out who before she's left alone in the dark. Doesn't that sound so good? I'm so excited for this one. So, yeah, we are going to start mood reading, and like I said, these are just 3 books off my TBR cart that I want to get off my TBR cart, and I just want to read more books rather than buying more. You know, I have so many options at this point on what I could read, and what's so crazy is that, like, all we ever want to do is go to the damn bookstore and buy more books, but honestly, there's not really anything I would want to buy at Barnes & Noble right now. Like I said, the only physical book that I'm going to buy this month is Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston, because I buy all of her books, and I'm very excited for that one. And I think I will probably read that one when it comes out on the 17th, depending on when we get through these. I don't think these are going to take me very long. It'll probably be like 5 days tops, to be honest, because like I said, I think this book is only going to take me till tomorrow to finish. And then we'll jump into ICU like probably tomorrow night. And then Somewhere in the Deep, I don't really imagine that taking me more than like 2 days as well. So I'm probably going to be done with all these books probably by Saturday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, I think so. Because, well, Saturday, I don't know how much time I'm going to have to read, because I'm actually going to like this fun fest kind of thing with my best friend and his girlfriend on Saturday. It starts at like 3 o'clock. So we're probably going to be there like a while. I think it closes at like 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, so we're going to be there probably pretty late. Not really sure yet, but yeah, so that's the plan. I was going to read Firefly Lane. Maybe I'll read it after I finish One Italian Summer, so I might just rotate in between mood reading and my TBR. That might make me feel a little bit better, so I might just do that. So yeah. But I will check in with you guys on my progress on One Italian Summer once I start it. So yeah, bye. Okay, so hey guys, so I wanted to let you guys know that I did start One Italian Summer by Rebecca Surley, and I'm already on page 102. Her books just literally take like no time to get through, and I think I just needed a book where it was like no pressure of how long it would take me, because like that's like what I think that puts us off being like avid readers, is that like you don't necessarily want to pick up like a 400 or 500 page book all the time. You just want to pick up something like super short, and this is like so perfect right now for me. I actually have read can I speak English? I did not grab my Squirtle to put my book on. Oops. He's like literally right here, but I'll grab it in a second, because let me just talk about the book. I've read like 53 pages of this physically, and then I listened to the audiobook. So I've read like almost 60 pages physically, and now I'm just going to read more physically, because I did borrow the audiobook from Libby. How many times can I rhyme? Physically, Libby. And the audiobook is actually narrated by Lauren Graham, which is awesome, because she's, you know, Lorelai Gilmore, and there's a quote in the beginning of this book that is by Lorelai Gilmore from Gilmore Girls. So the fact that she narrates the audiobook is just so cool. It says, "I just feel like I need more time. I really just feel ambushed, you know? I mean, I thought I had so much more time. I thought I had all summer to impart my wisdom about work and life and your future. And I just feel like I had something to tell you. Oh, on the bus, make sure you choose a good seat, you know? Because people are creatures of habit, and the seat you pick in the beginning could be your seat for the rest of the year, you know? Get a window seat, honey, because there's so much to see." And I feel like that's exactly what this book is about. So basically, the main character, Katie, like I said in the synopsis, she just lost her mother, Carol. And Katie always like instills in this book that pretty much Carol was like the love of her life. Like, what I like about Rebecca Surley and pretty much life in general is that like a soulmate doesn't have to be a romantic partner. Like my soulmate I lost 4 years ago, which was my best friend, Liz. I lost her back in 2021, and she was my soulmate. I love her so much, and no one could ever replace her. But Like it could be friendships or family. It doesn't have to always be a romantic partner. So she and her mother always talk about that they wanted to go back to Italy because her mother, Carol, kept on saying that the most beautiful place in the world is Positano, Italy, and they've been planning this trip till before she died, and then unfortunately since she passed away she wasn't able to go with her mother, and like her and her husband are kind of struggling with their marriage right now. She's married to a man named Eric, and he keeps on asking her before she goes on this trip, because she decides to go on her own because she's like, I want to experience the way that like her mother wanted to experience it, and she wants to like visit all the places that like her mother wanted them to visit together when she was alive. But unfortunately, since she passed away, she couldn't do it with her. So basically right now she is, trying to take the trip slow and experience everything, but she also meets this man. I forget his name. What is his name? Adam. It literally says it. The first sentence, the first word in this chapter is Adam. So yeah, his name is Adam, and she meets him at the hotel that she's staying at, and they end up developing like a friendship, and I think this is pretty much going to develop into a romance, and he like actually wants to buy the hotel that she's staying at. So she befriends him, and they start like, exploring Positano together, but he's like a world traveler because he writes about hotels, and he wants to buy this hotel, but I don't think it's gonna happen because like this hotel, like her mother wanted them to stay at, and she always talked about like how like old and out, like worldly this, is that how you say it? I mean, I know outer worldly is the saying, but also like older worldly, I don't know if that's right. But basically, Adam says, everything's old in, well, actually, no, her mother said everything's old in Italy. And that's pretty much like why you go to Italy is to like live the rich history and the culture. I've been to Italy back in 2008, 2006. I went after I graduated high school. Me and my sister went on a Europe tour together, like a music tour. And it was like the greatest trip of my life. I loved it so much. We went to 5 different countries, and I thank God was able to experience Italy at a young age. I've been dying to go back, but at least I got to go to Europe at least once in my life. And my sister's been to Italy multiple times. I'm so jealous, but maybe we'll go on a trip later on in life. That would be amazing. Me and my best friend keep on talking about it too, that he wants to go to Italy too because he's Italian and he's never been, and like we really want to go together too. So anyway, she goes out this one day, like on, or actually I think her younger version of her mother just like stumbles upon like where she's at, like outside her hotel, I'm pretty sure. And she is like, what the fuck, like how is my mother still alive? But it's like a younger version of herself. So that's where the magical realism comes in Rebecca Surley's books. I usually say if you love 7 Year Slip and you love Ashley Poston's magical realism writing, you need to read One Italian Summer, and you need to read Rebecca Surley's books because like their writing's so similar to me, and also like I love like general fiction romance with a hint of magical realism. So these books are like perfect for me, and they're such good palate cleansers. So yeah, that's where we're at pretty much. I don't want to say anything else because I don't want to spoil it, but basically she's like, what the fuck, how's my mother here? Because obviously she passed away on where she's at in like the US and where she lives, but obviously Italy pretty much captured like a young, like the magic of like a younger version of herself. So now she's trying to navigate like her relationship with her mother, but pretty much she's able to experience things with her mother now in Italy because they were never able to do it, obviously, because she passed away before the trip. So that's where we're at, and I'm going to continue reading. Probably get up to page like 150 or something before I have to go out, Or if I just read like 20 pages, it's fine because I have a feeling I'm probably going to be sleepy because I've just been sleeping like shit. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. So I wanted to let you guys know that I just finished One Italian Summer by Rebecca Surley. I finished it in a day. I just read the last 45 pages that I had. So I actually read quite a bit of this physically today. I read like 53 pages at first, and then I read another like 5 pages so I get up to page 100 because, like I said, I listened to it a little bit. And then I read another 40 pages. So I think that was like almost 100 pages before I went out. So that was like 95 pages. And then when I got home, I read another 45 pages. So I think I read like 140 pages of this physically. And then I guess I listened to it for the rest of the time. But I really did enjoy Lauren Graham's voice for this. So that's why I wanted to listen to it. But honestly, like if I didn't listen to it, I probably wouldn't have finished it as fast. But also, like, again, her books are just so short and they're just such easy reads. So I'm going to give this another 4.25 stars. There were a couple of things that I didn't love, but it was still a really good book, and I really enjoy Rebecca Surley's writing. I do want to read in 5 years at some point. But basically, this book is very similar to like The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. And like I said, if you like Ashley Poston's writing, Rebecca Surley is the author for you, because like I said, their premises and their books are very similar, like with magical realism, with romance. So I really liked it. She basically lived like her mom's life back in 1992, going to Italy because, like I said, after she met her mom, after she passed away in her life, she basically has like some experiences with her mom back when, like, because her mom would constantly say that this was before she was born, and then something happens that kind of flips that whole thing, that the main character, Katie, thought was what she knew for her childhood wasn't really the whole truth, and she basically found out the whole truth on why her mother went to Positano in the first place. So, but there was like one or two things that just like annoyed me a little bit, like about how the main character treated her husband. Honestly, it kind of pissed me off a little bit because she was like a little mean to him. But I understand like grief makes us, very upset and makes us lash out at people. I felt the same when I lost my best friend. It was very hard for me to handle my emotions, and really only my friends were there for me, like my other friends that I've been friends with for a really long time. If I didn't have them, I wouldn't have been able to get through it. But like with this, basically she, like I said, lives her mom's life in Positano because she like keeps on doing the things that like her mom would do, and but the thing is that she kept on living by like what her mom wanted to do and like how she like lived her life the way that her mother wanted her to live her life. Like she finally came to the realization that she's like, only I can live my own life, because there was like a couple times like when we were in her head that she kept on saying like, oh, my mother would always think you need to drink red wine, and always, bed sheets should be white. And I was like, why does it always have to be what your mother wants? Like, you need to do what you want, and you need to make the decisions that you want to make and do what you want to do and drink the wine that you want to drink, or you don't have to do everything the way that your mom does everything. Like, you still were soulmates, but that doesn't mean you can't make your own decisions and you can't live your own life. And that was kind of the issue that Eric had with Katie for a while, which Eric is her husband. He would say, not in like a mean way, he would say like, why does your mother always like basically insert herself into every aspect of our marriage and our life together. Like, it shouldn't be like that. Like, yes, of course, she should ask her mother, like, for advice. She should ask her mother about, like, making a serious life decision, but ultimately it is her decision to make these decisions. So anyway, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I don't want to say any more because I don't want to spoil it, but I thought it was really, really good. I really liked it. So I'm actually not going into a mood read after this. I'm going to go back to my TBR. But the next one I really do want to read in this video is Somewhere in the Deep by Tanvi Barwa. I just really want to read this one. Maybe I should go into the thriller though, but I don't know. I'm still not really in a huge thriller mood. If I pick up a YA fantasy, I always have such a good time, and I just want something that's not super dark right now, even though this might have a little bit of darkness in it, but also, like, I know it's going to be really fast-paced, and I feel like that's what I need right now. So I'm going to pick this up a couple days from now, probably on Friday, depending on when I finish the next book that I already started, because I started the audiobook of this because I've been putting off this book for so long, and I am going to include it in another video of books that I've been putting off. Like, literally, that's what I'm going to call the vlog. I finally started Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. I only listened to the intro and the first chapter, and I'm already loving it. Like, I don't know why I put off her book so long, but this is what I'm going to be reading for the next couple of days. I don't know why this gives me such anxiety to finally pick this book up. It's like, girl, just do it, because I know I'm going to love it. So yeah, I'm going to talk about that in literally my next vlog. What I thought I would do is mood read, then read my TBR, then do another mood read, which is Somewhere in the Deep, then read my TBR, then go into another mood read. So I think that's what I'm going to do, because these are books that I've been wanting to get to for a while. And then I think that'll, like, get me through a lot of my physical TBR this month, or get me through more of my physical TBR. I think this is what I need to do right now, because there's also, like, a series that I want to read towards the end of the month, or, like, the last week of the month. So, like, yeah, that's pretty much it. I need to stop pressuring myself to go into certain books. I just need to read what I want to read, or stick to my TBR. But, like, literally the only person that's judging myself is me. Literally no one else cares. It's like, I need to enjoy the books that I'm reading, and that's all that matters. So yeah, I will pick this vlog up when we start Somewhere in the Deep. Maybe I'll just start the audiobook of that too. But I'm really liking the narrator of Firefly Lane, so I think I'm just going to continue listening to that tonight, because I'm about to shower. But I also started Caught Up by Nevessa Allen earlier today, because that came out today. And that's the second book in the Into Darkness series. And I only listened to that on audiobook too, because Teddy Hamilton is the main male character's narrator. And everybody, like, dies for his voice. And, like, but I'm finding, like, the female voice to be so fucking annoying. I really liked the female voice in the first book. The female main character's voice in this is just a little bit too, like, oh my god, like, it's just, like, I don't know, it's making me cringe out. And also, like, this plot is not as strong as the first book. Like, the first book was just funny, and the banter was great, and I'm seeing, like, similar thoughts that people were thinking. And also, this girl already knew who the masked man was pretty damn quickly. Like, she already knew that he was the one that was into her, which I thought it was going to be, like, a little, I mean, like, how repetitive are you going to make these books, honestly? But I feel like the female character's story is a little bit weak. I think that the male main character is hysterical, and I do think that his story is more intriguing right now. But, you know, it's just, like, a silly, goofy time reading these books, and I feel like it's exactly what I'm in the mood for, so yeah, so that's basically my mood read now too. And also, it was on my TBR for the month anyway, because after, again, finishing Releasing 10, I was literally devastated. So this audiobook literally came out at the perfect time. So I'm having a good time. So yeah, that's all that matters. I haven't really had another 5-star read this month though, besides releasing 10, and I think the last 5-star read that I had was A Fate Forged in Fire by Hazel McBride, and that was like probably like the 25th or the 26th of May. So I haven't had a 5-star in a while. I mean, I did just finish releasing 10, and obviously that was going to be a 5-star. I mean, there are always 5 stars for me. I love that series so much. But I've just been reading like really good books this month. Not anything that like is insanely amazing, but I have a feeling that Firefly Lane is going to be a 5-star. So, because, you know, Kristen Hanna, both of her books that I've read have been 5-star. And then I'm going to go into Frederick Bachman after this. And I have a feeling that book is going to be 5-star, and that's going to be my 5th book by Frederick Bachman. So he's one of my favorite authors, and so is Kristen Hanna. So I finally just need to read another Kristen Hanna book because I've been putting this book off for way too long. And I need to like not be putting it off any longer because I'm already loving it. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. So this would not be a true mood reading vlog if we didn't change completely what we're reading. And I feel like I do that every time I do a mood reading vlog. I actually haven't done one in quite a while because, like I've said before, I've been really, really good about sticking to my TBRs last month and this month, and like even in April too. It's just like simply running out of time for books that I'm not able to get to, because for me, I usually put like 20 books on my TBR every month because I'm usually pretty good about getting to all of them or most of them. Like I said, I did actually complete my May TBR. Like I didn't complete it until like last midweek of last week because that was like the second week of June. But I did read the other 2 books that I wanted to read in May in order to complete my May TBR. And I also finished releasing 10, which was on my May TBR. I finished the audiobook. So anyway, we are actually, like I said, not going into ICU by Claire McIntosh, or I can't remember what the other one was. I think it was Somewhere in the Deep by Tanvi Merwa. Yeah, we're not reading either of those. I picked something completely different on my Kindle. I don't know why this book was just intriguing me so much. So I decided that I wanted to read a dark romance because I've been wanting to read more dark romance this year, and I actually put that as one of my goals in 2025. And I've only read 2, which was Kiss of the Basilisk by Lindsay Strobe and Caught Up by Nevessa Allen, which I just finished Caught Up like last week. But I kind of wanted something with a little bit more of a plot as opposed to Caught Up, because Caught Up was kind of disappointing. It wasn't really that good. It wasn't even a true dark romance, to be honest. Like, there was nothing really going on in that book, to be honest. It was just really just pure smut. So it was kind of boring. So I decided to give this book a shot because I've been wanting to read this for the past couple of weeks. I don't know why every single time I go to Barnes & Noble, I'm just drawn to reading this book. It just sounded so interesting. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot because it's literally a dark hockey college romance, and that is Beautiful Venom by Rena Kent. And I actually was just on one of my book besties lives on TikTok. Her name is Aaliyah. She's so, so sweet. And I watch a lot of her reading sprints on TikTok. I might actually go on TikTok now and do a reading sprints of both of these books that I'm reading. Because I'm actually reading a romantasy right now physically, but on my Kindle, I'm reading this. And so far, I'm loving this. This is so good. It isn't too, like, nothing's triggered me yet. It's just been a little bit of non-consensual sex, but then, like, she kind of said, like, do whatever you want. So that was, like, the only thing that kind of bothered me. But besides that, nothing, like, gross or triggering yet. So, but, of course, if you go into a book like this, and like I said, I've never read Rena Kent before, and this one just drew me in on what the plot was going to be. I'm like, ooh, a dark college sports romance? Like, come on. So like hockey romance, like sign me up. So I'm on page 108. And I only got up to that because I worked today and then I was supposed to watch The Bear with my mom, but it doesn't come out until Wednesday. I thought it came out tonight, but it doesn't. So I'm just going to read now for like a couple of hours because your girl's tired and I just want to read some more. So anyway, so far, this book is so much fun. It's about the main character, Dahlia, and Kane. And Kane is like in a secret society in this college, but also he is like, I think he's the captain of the hockey team. And basically, like, this hockey team, like, rules the school. Like, they're, like, the like, group that you don't want to mess with. And there's, like, a ton of rumors about this secret society. Mostly, like, not even, like, fraternity. So, I mean, it's kind of, like, similar to, like, fraternity, sorority kind of vibes. But it's more like just a straight up cult. So, secret society. So basically she like kind of pretends that she wants to be like this obsessed fan because she is like, well, you think that she's obsessed with them, but then you actually find out that I don't know if this is on the back of the book because I don't want to spoil anything, but basically, like, something bad happened to one of her family members. That's all I'm going to say. So, and she thought that, or she thinks that the secret society was behind it. So, she infiltrates herself, like, she goes through the trials of the secret society to get into the society so she can investigate more on what happened to this family member. And that's all I'm going to say. But like these trials were like, you know, fucking her like crazy. So, but Kane's voice is so hot in the audiobook. Oh my God. Because I also purchased the audiobook on Audible because if you download the Kindle Unlimited book on your Kindle, then any audiobook on Audible, if it's a Kindle Unlimited book that they have on Kindle Unlimited, then you can get the audiobook on Audible for $7.49. So I'm like, I'm just going to buy it because they didn't have it on Libby. They didn't have it on Spotify. And also I just used up my Spotify listening hours. So I was like, I might as well purchase it. And also, I had just watched Larry's reading vlog of like highly anticipated reads for her, and she actually ended up listening to this book right after her releasing 10 slump because she said that she couldn't touch a book after that because, you know, that book was amazing, but goddamn, I'm so glad I listened to it via audio, but I ended up like picking up. That's why this whole mood reading vlog started, like I said, but that was like a couple weeks back already when I finished releasing 10. So anyway, so far I'm really enjoying this one. So I'm very intrigued to see where the plot goes. But I think I'm going to read A Dance of Lies tonight. But this book I know I'm going into next. And it's not a book that was on my TBR, but this is actually going to be another buddy read with my book bestie Felicia. We buddy read Wild Dark Shore earlier in the month, and we both loved it. So, but we were thinking about buddy reading Wild Dark Shore for a while, so like we both picked that. But then Felicia ended up picking this book. I think I'm picking the next one because we're going to start the Chestnut Springs series in July. So we're going to read the first book in the Chestnut Springs series. I might read the first two, but I want to read at least the first one with her in July. But anyway, the one that we want to read before the month is over is The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark. So I did pick up the physical copy because look at the sprayed edges. Like, are you kidding me? They're so fucking cool. And technically this counts as my thriller read in this vlog. I'm not going to read I See You. I'm going to read this because I might possibly just return this after I finish it unless it ends up being a 5-star. But you guys know that I have not had a 5-star thriller this entire year. The only one that came close was Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney, because you guys know how much I love. Ooh! Yay! I just got my email from Apple. Okay. I have to book my interview then for next week. Okay. So whenever they have the interview event, I'm going to read the synopsis though, because I'm not really that sure what this is about. It's obviously about a ghostwriter. I mean, duh. So, and it's a really short synopsis. It says, the Taylor family shatters in a single night when two teenage siblings are found dead in their own home. I actually did read the synopsis with Felicia when we went and picked it up together at Barnes & Noble. She's so cute. The only surviving sibling, Vincent, never shakes the whispers and accusations that he was the one who killed them. Decades later, the legend only grows as his career as a horror writer skyrockets. Ghostwriter Olivia Dumont has spent her entire professional life hiding the fact that she's the only child of Vincent Taylor. Now on the brink of financial ruin, she's offered a job to ghostwrite her father's last book. What she doesn't know, though, is that this project is another one of his lies. Because it's not another horror novel he wants her to write. After 50 years of silence, Vincent Taylor is finally ready to talk about what really happened that night in 1975. So, sounds really good. Also, when I did read the synopsis of this, though, it reminded me of another Alice Feeney book, and it's her most popular book, and that is Rock, Paper, Scissors. It sounds very similar to the plot of Rock, Paper, Scissors, and I really enjoyed that. So, we're going to see if this ends up being one of my favorite thrillers, but, like, I just don't really read that many thrillers anymore because half the time they end up being a letdown. But really the only thrillers I've read this year have either been Frida McFadden, Alice Feeney. I tried to read Billy Summers, but this is basically going to be my thriller pick for my TBR. So technically this will be fulfilling the thriller prompt as well because I'm not going to be able to get to Billy Summers yet again. Or I might read it after I finish Beautiful Venom, but I kind of wanted to go into fantasy after that and after I finish A Dance of Lies. So I'm kind of reading both of those at the same time. And then I'm going to be going into this on Tuesday. Hopefully I'll finish one of those books. I want to finish A Dance of Lies by tomorrow because I've been reading that for the past couple of days. So, but I did finish a book last night. I finished 7 Days in June by Tia Caitlin. And it was so good. I loved it. It was such a good book. Oh my God, that book is worth the hype. It's so good. So anyway, yeah, I'm excited for this. So we're both supposed to start it on Tuesday. It's Sunday night right now. So like I said, I'm going to crank out some more reading. Hopefully I'll get to like page over 300 of A Dance of Lies. I read like 30 or 40 pages after work. But I want to read some more. So yeah, that's about it. And we will check in when we get further into Beautiful Venom. I think I'm going to, because me and my friend are going to be actually reading at the park tomorrow. So I'm going to bring that and A Dance of Lies with me. Depends on how far I get before I see her and how far I get in A Dance of Lies tonight. Because obviously I'm going to switch to my Kindle later on so I can just read more Beautiful Venom because this light is still out, so it's just easier for me to read on my Kindle at night. So yeah, that's pretty much it, and I will talk to you guys when I have more of an update. So yeah, bye. So hey guys, so I wanted to give you guys an update on where I'm at in Beautiful Venom by Rena Kent. I just turned the brightness up. Sorry if it was down, because it's like not like anybody cares. But anyway, I'm still reading Beautiful Venom by Rena Kent, but I just hit halfway through, so I got through this pretty quickly. I'm on page 256, chapter 22. I listened to a couple of chapters of the audiobook this morning, and then I read like a chapter before that. And then I read some of my physical book, A Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena. I'm almost done with it. I have I think 60 something pages left. So I'm hoping to finish that before I go out today. So I might just bring my Kindle to read this. But also I'm a little bit worried about reading this in public because I'm going to read with my friend later. We're just going to go get pizza and then I think we're going to go to Barnes and read for a little bit. Because originally we were going to go to the park, but it's really, really hot today, and I don't know if I want to be outside, like, getting heat stroke, so it's going to be really hot. So we might go later, like, around 7:30, because that's finally where it gets a little bit less hot. My friend's like, it's only going to be 80 to 90 degrees. I'm like, it's still fucking hot as shit. Like, 90 degrees is ridiculous. So if it drops to, like, 80, then maybe... Let me rhyme somewhere because I'm a rhyming queen, okay? But anyway, so I might bring the next book that I'm gonna start tomorrow, which is The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark. I might just bring that to start reading if I do finish A Dance of Lies before I go see her. And I might also bring A Dance of Lies with me because I'm gonna return it because I don't need to keep it, so... It wasn't good enough for me to keep it. Like, it's not a 5-star. It's like a 4-star. Like, I'm still not feeling the romance in it. There's honestly, like, barely any romance for it to be a romantasy, but the plot is just so good. But there also wasn't much fantasy in it either. It was more like just a murder mystery. It was really good. It's really good writing, though, so. Anyway, let's talk about Beautiful Venom, because that's what we're reading in this video. I'm so sucked in. I'm loving this book. I just think it's so much fun. And I just needed something where I was just completely sucked in and completely addicted to reading it because, like, even though I've read some bangers last week, like I read Anxious People, Remarkably Bright Creatures, and Firefly Lane, sometimes you just need something. And Love on the Brain. Those were my, like 4 or 5 stars this month besides releasing 10 because I was going through a 5-star rut until releasing 10. And then I read Firefly Lane and that was obviously a 6-star read for me. And then I read 3 back-to-back 5 stars after that. So I just needed something like completely out of my comfort zone, but also like, which this could have actually fulfilled the out of my comfort zone prompt. I still don't know if I've actually fulfilled that prompt. But also, the ghostwriter is now going to fulfill the thriller prompt, because I don't know if I'm going to get to Billy Summers. I'm probably not going to, because I'm going to want to try and finish Beautiful Venom after the ghostwriter. But I'm also going to be listening to a lot of Beautiful Venom today, like while I'm getting ready and when I'm going to see my friend and stuff. So I just want to finish A Dance of Lies before I leave. So I should be able to do that because, like I said, I only have 60 pages left. So, and it reads so quickly. So anyway, basically, not much has really happened as far as like the progression of the plot. But like, that's what a dark romance is. Like, it's just about like hot sex and, you know, Kane's voice. It's not just purely, I mean, there is a lot of smut in this book, but the plot is very interesting. Like, Kane has had a very, very troubled past. Like, his father is so fucked up, and his mother, like, basically enabled his father. So, we're getting a lot into Kane's past. And what I really love is that we're getting to know these characters so well. That's like the difference between Caught Up and like this writing, and Rena Kent's writing gets completely addicting. Like, I'm addicted to reading this. Like, I don't want to put it down. I also just want to go back to this and binge the shit out of this book rather than reading A Dance of Lies. Like, that's how much I want to read this book right now, but I also want to finish A Dance of Lies because I don't want to put more time into reading it when I'm so close to the end. Like, when I get this close to the end of a book, I'm like, I just need to fucking finish it, you know? Like, I need to move on to a different book, you know? Like, I'm not, like, that type of person that, like, doesn't want a book to end, because I'm like, I need a book to end. Like, I can't live in it forever. Like, I always see these posts where it's like, I don't want this book to end, and it's like, well, I mean, like, I kind of felt like that about the Hunger Games, but also it's like, you need to end, like, your emotional trauma, so, yeah. But I get that. I get if people say that. But also I'm like, I like, maybe the book that I didn't want to end was One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. That was such a beautiful summer read, and summer romance, and I loved it so much. I didn't want that book to end. Like, I just loved it. So, and I actually thought Summer in the City could have been a bit longer because I loved that book too and I didn't want it to end. So, like, there's some books like that. Mostly, like, I guess if it's like a romance I'm really feeling. So, yeah, anyway, because my last 5-star romance before One Golden Summer was Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I loved that book. I don't care what anybody says. I loved that book. So anyway, and then like Dahlia's, getting more intrigued by Kane and she's starting to liking the things that he's doing to her, Even though he hasn't really done anything too crazy yet. Like, he slaps her, say. Okay. Her hoo-ha. And that's a little bit cray-cray, but kind of hot too. But yeah, you can't not talk about this book without talking about the smut, so we're just going to talk about it. And she just had another trial, but like all it is Kane like effing her in most of the trials. Like she doesn't really like, I thought it was going to be, I wish there was like a little bit more to the trials than just that. Like, she entered like this room that I thought was going to be a maze because at first she thought it was a garden, but then she said there was like these really tall hedges there. So I thought it was going to be like a maze that she was going to have to like escape and maybe Kane was going to chase her. I thought that would have been really fun, but no, it just ended up him fucking her again anyway. So, which there's nothing wrong with that, but like every time she gets to a trial or a game, I get like really excited and they're a little bit of a letdown. Besides that, I'm really enjoying the writing, and also I feel like there's a lot more plot to this book as opposed to Caught Up. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Is that Caught Up, Nevessa Allen did not get us to really get much emotional depth from the two characters, and we didn't really get to know them as well as we're getting to know Dahlia and Kane in this book. And then like that's what I'm eating up the most in this, but also it is super hot. Like it is really hot. So, and Kane's voice might be my favorite male voice I've ever listened to, besides obviously the King and Teddy Hamilton, my God, words, Caitlin, Jesus. And Quicksilver's Kingfisher. Love his voice too. Absolutely love his voice. Oh my God, his voice is so hot. But like anyway, Kane's voice, oh my God, I eat it up. I love it. Like whispering voices sometimes annoy me, but his, it is like so hot and sexy. Like damn. So anyway, it's just really fun. I'm having a great time. And that at the end of the day, I'm going to have an endless TBR. Like we all just need a mood read sometimes. And I don't feel guilty about doing that because sometimes actually most of the time mood reading gets you back to just reading in general. Because like sometimes you can feel like you don't want to read. And then if you pick up a book like this that you literally cannot stop, it makes you just want to read more. So, like, I feel like I just needed that because, I don't know, I was feeling a little bit, and what's so funny is that the only 2 books that were on my TBR still this month was Billy Summers and An Ember in the Ashes, and they were both books for my 25 and 2025 list. Because, again, I've been doing pretty good with that list this year, but also I did try and start both of them. And I actually really enjoyed Ember in the Ashes. And I'm going to read An Ember in the Ashes as soon as I finish Ghostwriter. So I'm still going to read it. I'm still going to read the series. But I just needed something, like a bit of like a palate cleanser, I guess, in between. And also I just wanted to fit one more book in before I read the Ghostwriter. But also like, depends on when I finish Beautiful Venom. Maybe I'll just binge it tonight when I get home. Because like I said, I'm going to be listening to a lot of the audiobooks, so it depends on how far I get. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else. Yeah, there's not much else that goes on besides, like, Kane trying to F her. Oh, there's, like, this really fun... This is so funny. I was, like, dying. So, you know, Dahlia was the one that was, like, obsessively texting him, like, after her first trial and, like, you know, after he effed her to death and whatever. And she wanted, like, communication from him, and it was actually really, really funny. So now her and Kane fuck again, like, after, like, that trial that I was telling you about with the hedges and stuff. Then she keeps on giving him the cold shoulder, and she keeps on leaving him on red. And it's so funny, because now he's down bad for her, because he's asking one of his friends, he's like, so, what does it mean when a girl leaves you on red? And I'm like, he is down bad. And it's so funny because, you know, he wants to be the one in control. Like, he doesn't want to be hooked on her. He doesn't want to be, like, you know, what do you call it? Oh my God. Whipped. He's, like, acting whipped now, and it's just really funny. Also, he hasn't used any whips on her yet, but we'll see about that. But he hasn't done anything that extreme yet. But, like, and then later on, he, like, tells her, you know, like, you better not do this again. And it's just, like, so hot the way that he tells her. I forget exactly how, but it was just really funny that he was, like, so hooked on her now. I'm like, he's like, and he's getting annoyed that he feels this way. And that's why it works as compared to, like, Caught Up. Because it's, like, those kind of things and make a dark romance interesting. So, yeah, I'm just going to keep on reading it, and we will check in probably when I'm finished, because I think this might be the last check-in I'm going to make. And then we'll start the Ghostwriter tomorrow. So, yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. So, hold on one second, because I have to pull the cover back up, but we finished it. We finished Beautiful Venom. I devoured this fucking book, y'all. I devoured this damn book. This was so much fun. Oh my God. I had so much fun reading this damn book. Did I take my sleeping pill? I don't think I did. No, I did not. I forgot. I literally cannot remember. I did not. I forgot. Let me just rhyme forever. You know, when we... Sorry, I'm, like, literally dropping everything. When we do these check-ins, we're always rhyming, so... It would not be a Caitlin check-in if I didn't rhyme, because, duh. I'm actually watching somebody's reading sprint on TikTok, and I finished this in the sprint. I read like 20 pages, and then I listened to the 2 epilogues at the end. I fucking love that there was an epilogue for both characters at the end. I don't know if that's what Rena Kent does in all of her books, or most of her books, but why is that not a thing in all romance books? Like, because mostly the books that I read that have epilogues are romance books. You know, dark romance is still in the romance genre and under the romance section in the in Barnes and in the bookstore in general. But that, I just loved that. I'm like, why can't we get that with like every single book that has an epilogue? Like, come on. But especially romance books. And I just was completely obsessed with that, and that just like really enhanced the reading experience for me. But I loved this. This is a 4.5 stars. Like, I completely devoured this in 2 days. I just needed something that I was straight up obsessed with reading, because even though I've had an incredible reading month, I just needed something that was just gonna devour. And I loved this. But the only thing that I felt was a little lacking was that I felt like some of the things at the end were a bit rushed, but I still absolutely loved Kane and Dahlia's relationship. Kane is my man, okay? Oh my God. What a sexy man. What a sexy voice. Like, holy fuck. It was just a mindless palate cleanser, but this had a lot more emotional depth to the characters, and we, like I said, we really got to know these characters as opposed to like caught up. That just like was just pure smut. And with this, even though there wasn't, like I said before, there was a lot of smut in this, the plot was really good. And then there was like a lot of twists at the end that I did not see coming, and I was like, my jaw was on the floor about like some of the things that Kane revealed to Dahlia. And then like she felt like he betrayed her trust, and then he had to go take care of like the situation after he's like trying to win her back. Oh my God, the way he's trying to win her back. Why is it so adorable? Like, I took a picture of one of the things that he did for her, or one of the things that he was doing for her to try to win her back. And I just thought this was so fucking cute. Like, even though he's like obsessed with her and like fucks her raw, like he's like, I'm 36 years old, so if I'm gonna say these things, I'm gonna say these things. Who cares? It says he only leaves for a few hours to shower and change clothes in a local hotel. Then he comes back often with groceries. He also only sleeps a few hours per night in the hotel and is always there when I wake up. And for some reason, it made me feel safe to know he was out there, but now he isn't. And I was like, King, where'd you go? And then he's like, said that he had to take care of a situation with like his, like hockey brothers, and like basically like his hockey brothers, because they're basically like blood brothers, and the secret society or the cult or whatever they're in. But you know, Kane is like understanding. He's an understanding cult member, okay? He loves Dahlia, all right? That's why we love our man. It's like, again, if we think these things in dark romance books, that doesn't mean we actually think these people are like normal in real life, you know? It's just like the way that like dark romance authors make the characters relatable is because they add like some sort of just fantasy element of thinking that this would actually work in real life. But it's just a fun time. It's a fun fucking time, all right? We're allowed to read for entertainment, okay? Because reading is for entertainment. Reading fiction is for entertainment, but also it's to... You don't always have to feel something reading every single book, you know? You don't always have to be in tears. We can read books that make us happy, that make us sad, that just make us want to have fun, that just want to read for entertainment. You know, you just want to have a good time, but also you can be devastated, and it's okay. So, anyway, rant over. So, this was just fun. And I need book 2 like it was yesterday, okay? I literally cannot wait. It comes out in December this year. But then the third book doesn't come out until July 2026. And I'm like, girl, I mean, the fact that she releases, I think she released like 4 books this year, because she released Kiss the Villain like 2 months ago, and most people didn't like that book, but I think that's a prequel to this series because it's about Kane's uncle. But since, you know, Queen Larry convinced me to read this, but also I was thinking about reading this, but after she finished this, I'm like, I just want to read it. Sorry about the obnoxious glow. We're just gonna turn it off. You don't have to stare at the title the cover every 5 seconds. But yeah, I listened to a lot of the audiobook as well. And I just was obsessed with Kane's voice, like I said. So usually if I have the audiobook and I'm also reading it on, wow. Someone's gifting her like a ton of gifts. I actually got 2 gifts on my live last night, which was really sweet, of my 2 friends that were watching. But even like one of my friends that popped in for like 2 seconds also just gave me a gift and left. I'm like, that's so sweet. And he said hi for like a few minutes. So TikTok has been actually really fun. I've been actually having a really good time with book talk, watching reading sprints, hosting reading sprints. I really want somebody to go on a reading sprints with me. Like, I'm hoping my girl Aaliyah will do it because she's just so sweet. And she actually popped in on my reading sprints for a little bit last night too. So yeah, it was really, really fun. I did like a 4-hour reading sprint though. That was long. But I read like 50 or 60 pages of Beautiful Villain. But then I finished A Dance of Lies earlier today because I wanted to finish that for another vlog I was doing. But I finished 2 books today. So I'm feeling really accomplished. Even though I did read less books this month than I typically do. Like, Beautiful Venom is book 15 this month. I mean, that's still a lot of books. I mean, that's more books than the average person reads. But I just did not want to go to sleep. Or honestly, I don't think I could have started the Ghostwriter tomorrow if I hadn't finished Beautiful Venom. I just had to find out what happened, and it was just so good. So I think this is going to be a successful read too, and this is also a June release. So well, actually Beautiful Venom came out at the end of May, so I still ended up reading 4 May releases this month because I finished releasing 10 as well. I started that in May though. I finished it like the second week of June because, you know, that was just a really hard read. I mean, I couldn't listen to it all the time because I would just cry. So I was like, I can't listen to it when I was doing my makeup sometimes. I had to listen to like something completely opposite. Like, I think I would just put on Caught Up well, actually I finished releasing 10 right before Caught Up, but I just could not listen to it while I was getting ready because I would have cried all my makeup off. So that was not happening. But anyway, it was great. This was just so fun. Oh, that Larry DNF'd Kiss the Villain, and she loves Rena Kent, but she said it was such a repeat of like the Legacy of God series, which I have not read. Like I said, this is my very first just rhymed again. Read, like I said. Rhyming queen. Maybe I should write like poems or something, you know. We got this. But yeah, she DNF'd it, and she loves Rena Kent, and she's read like a shit ton of her books, but I have not read the Legacy of God series. But yeah, this was my first Rena Kent book. Wow, words. And I really liked it. I had a great time. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I don't really want to say much more because if you guys have been interested in reading it, I don't want to spoil it, but I devoured it. I loved it. It was so addicting. So yeah, we're going to start the Ghostwriter tomorrow because I don't want to read anymore tonight because, like I said, I read 2 books. I mean, I finished 2 books today. Oh my God, words. I need to go to sleep earlier tonight too, so I'm just going to watch YouTube for the next, 45 minutes. I also wanted to finish the show, though, that I was watching. I'm watching Anxious People by Frederick Bachman show. I mean, Anxious People on Netflix because it was made into a Netflix show from the book by Frederick Bachman called Anxious People. Duh, Caitlin, oh my God. And it's not that good, but it's like completely opposite of what the book made you feel like. So like, I don't really care about finishing it tonight, but I only have the finale left. So yeah, I don't know. I just also thought that I wasn't going to be home this late, but I might just finish it because I'm not going to read anything now. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm buddy reading it with my girl Felicia, so we're going to both start it tomorrow. And again, these braid edges are to die for. I absolutely love them. So I think this is going to be really fun. And also, like I said before, I haven't really read many thrillers this year, so I'm hoping I'm predicting it might be a 5-star thriller. But also, if it's a 5-star thriller, then I can't return it. Because like I've said before, I don't return 5-star reads. So that's just a rule for me. Why would I do that? So yeah. that's it. I'm gonna go. Bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. So I wanted to let you guys know that I did start The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark this morning. I'm now 45 pages in. I actually listened to a few chapters and I only read like maybe one chapter because I was just like too sleepy to read more this morning, even though like I usually am up so early and I'm like falling asleep again when I try to read in the morning sometimes. Like yesterday morning I got quite a bit of reading done because I read like 20 pages of A Dance of Lies and like 10 pages of Beautiful Venom, and then I listened to a few chapters of Beautiful Venom. But I also got the audiobook of this, like I said, so I wanted to listen to it first to see like what the voices sounded like, and also like just sometimes there's certain books that I like starting the audiobook first rather than going to the physical book, because I wasn't sure how I was going to like this story, and so far I'm really intrigued by this. I think that this is going to be a great thriller from the way that things are set up already. Like, I think this might break my thriller slump because I'm really, really enjoying the writing so far. Basically, it's about, what is her name again? Olivia Dumont. And, Vincent is her brother, and she, like I said, when I read the synopsis, she has to ghostwrite her father's memoir. But when she is first going there, she thinks that she's writing his, like, this novel, like ghostwriting a novel for him. And then she finds out that it's to ghostwrite his memoir of two murders. I'm not going to say who because I don't want to give away too much, that everybody thinks that her father committed. And like basically he's telling his side of the story. So it's a very interesting concept and I'm really, really excited to see what happens. But like also the author Olivia, because her father's also a writer, but he's slowly losing his mind because he has this very rare disease. It's basically like a combo of dementia and, let me just make sure that I remember and tell you guys the proper name. It's called LBD, Lewy body dementia, and it says is a progressive disease with a decline in mental abilities. Affected individuals might have visual hallucinations and changes in attention or their ability to focus. REM disorders are often a precursor. Physical symptoms include loss of smell, dizziness, muscle rigidity and or tremors, slower movement, and difficulty walking. Life expectancy is 7 to 8 years. It differs from Alzheimer's, and there are no defined stages, making LBD more challenging to navigate. So I feel like we're going to get, a lot of him losing his sanity. And I'm like, I'm here for it. So that's like the psychological aspect to this thriller. And also, she is like a struggling writer. She hasn't really gotten any offers to write another book. She basically is a ghostwriter. Like, I think that's what she does. I'm not sure if she like writes her own novels. I have to go back into it some more, but I'm pretty sure like she's a writer. Like, that's all you need to know. And she actually is in jeopardy of losing her house in LA because she lives in LA, and of course LA is like so fucking expensive. So she decides to take the job because she, even though she's totally tried to disassociate herself from her father, like people don't even know that this writer, her father, is actually her father. Like, she doesn't declare like any public relationship to him because, she thinks that he's pretty nuts, and also she believes that he committed these murders. So we're already getting like a lot of flashbacks of like what happened in her childhood, like with him. And the author just explains it very, very concisely. So like it's very fast paced. Even though we're getting a lot of info already, it's very well written in very short form, which that's what I really like about thrillers, but also like sometimes thrillers can be really short but also tell us nothing, or like there's not enough to keep me on the edge of my seat. So I think that this is going to be a ride, and I'm really excited to see what happens. Also, the audiobook is only 5 hours long. Listening to it at 2 times the speed, and I already only have almost under 4 hours left already. I think I'm up to 4 hours and 21 minutes, so I don't know if I might be able to finish this book today, if not tomorrow, but I think I'm gonna fly through it pretty quickly, because tomorrow I have an eye appointment at 3. Tonight I'm going to the movies. I'm going to see Elio with my best friend. I haven't seen him since last Wednesday, so we needed a day, obviously. And then, because it's just way too damn hot to do anything outside, so there's still plenty of summer movies that we want to see, so we're going to see that. And then, tomorrow, I'm supposed to see one of my other friends after my eye appointment. I don't know where we're meeting, though. He hasn't told me yet. And then Thursday, I'm actually going to the Silent Book Club, and I was thinking that this was gonna be my pick, but since we started Ghostwriter, because I'm, like I said, I'm buddy reading this with my book bestie Felicia. I think I'm gonna be finished with this by Thursday, so I'm probably gonna start An Ember in the Ashes on Thursday, which I'm really excited for, but also I just want to like mood read. Also, I didn't start this last night because I had finished 2 books yesterday, so I really didn't feel like reading more at like, because I didn't get into bed until almost like 2 in the morning, so it's like I wasn't going to read anything then. I wanted to just watch YouTube, so I just watched like a YouTube video, and then I was already falling asleep, so. Because I finished A Dance of Lies, and I finished Beautiful Venom, because I just devoured Beautiful Venom. I also had the audiobook for Beautiful Venom, so I listened to quite a lot of it. And I was just obsessed with the male narrator's voice, so like, I couldn't get enough of it. It was just so good. It was so bingeable. So now I'm kind of excited that I went into this book, because I feel like Beautiful Venom got me more excited to read more. Not that I haven't been reading like bangers of books this month, because honestly, every book that I've read this month, I have really liked or loved. Like I said, I've been having an incredible reading month, and even though I've read a little bit less than I usually do every month, sometimes I have to remember it's quality over quantity. And like I said, 15 books is a lot. This is my 16th book this month. So like, that's nothing to be upset over. Like, that's crazy that I still am able to keep up at least 15 to 18 books a month. So 15 books is easy for me, though. I usually read over that every month easily. Actually, my slowest and the least amount of books this year was January. It was the same last year, because I read the entire Throne of Glass series in January of 2024, and that took up my entire month because it's 8 books. Even though I had finished the first book, the prequel short stories, which is Assassin's Blade, the very last day of December, and then I went into Throne of Glass all of January and just read books 2 through 8. But that's like a lot. And then this past January, I read Onyx Storm and Blood Over Bright Haven. So those were some devastating books. So, yeah. So anyway, but besides that, February to May, I've been able to keep up like 20 books a month, which is crazy. Like, I can't believe how many I've actually read. February to May, but sometimes there'll be slower reading months than usual, but it'll usually be like books that are bangers, like Firefly Lane, Anxious People, and Remarkably Bright Creatures. Amazing books. And it's not like I'm not finishing books still. I finished 7 Days in June on Saturday, and I finished A Dance of Lies and Beautiful Venom yesterday, so I'm still doing pretty good. And then that like made up for not finishing a book as fast as I usually do, but I really need to stop thinking about it like that and just like figure out, make sure I'm reading things that I really want to enjoy, or books that I really want to get to, rather than worrying about like reading everything all the time. I also have to figure out when I'm filming my TBR this week. I think I'm not going to be able to film it until Friday because, like I said, well, actually, I might be able to film it Thursday because I'm not going out until 6 o'clock on Thursday because I don't know if I said I'm going to the Barnes & Noble book club, the silent book club reading at Barnes & Noble where they have like local silent book clubs in my town. Can I speak? In my town. Book club. Like, what the fuck? And it's like you can go and you can read whatever you want. It's not like you have to read the same book like a book club where you all pick one book to read and then you like discuss it the next month. No, you just go read whatever you want for an hour, like whatever book you're currently reading, and then you talk for an hour after that. So I'm like really excited because I've been wanting to do that. And my book bestie Felicia told me about it, but I was hoping if we went together, we would be reading The Ghostwriter there, but she said that she's not going to be able to make it because she plays pickleball on Thursday, so I'm just going with my other friend. She was supposed to go to the movies with us tonight, but she said that she was like overheated from the heat yesterday, which, guys, please be careful in this ridiculous heat. Like, I mean, I know it's the summertime, but you have to make sure you always drink water, and you can't be outside for that long unless you're like used to the heat. But like it's very easy to get overheated or dehydrated or even get heat stroke. So for me, I'm just staying inside as much as possible. Like, I'm still going out, but I'm going to like other places inside, like the movie theater, and then like tomorrow I might go out to Long Beach. I'm not sure yet, but we're not going to go to the beach because, again, it's going to be too hot. And then Thursday, I'm going to the silent book club, so I'm going to be at Barnes. And then Saturday, Sunday, I'm working. So anyway, that's it. Pretty chill plans, like nothing too crazy. So I actually kind of like that sometimes. So yeah, I will check in with you guys on this book when I get further into it, probably like 50% of the way through, but I think it's not going to be that hard to get halfway through today at least. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. So we finished it. We finished the Ghostwriter. We finished it in a day. I pretty much read like maybe over 100, I think definitely over 100 pages of this physically. And it's just so fast paced. Like, I just love these kind of books where you don't even feel like you're reading, because the writing was like, I that's why I really loved Beautiful Venom in this, because, and A Dance of Lies, because literally you just fly through the writing, and it's like, it doesn't feel like a task when you're reading them, like, because again, I've just been having an incredible reading month. Like, this was really good. I'm gonna give this a 4 stars. I don't feel anything more towards it than a 4 star. I almost thought I was gonna give it like a 3.75, but I'm giving it a 4 star because I thought the writing was really, really good, really compelling, really interesting. I did get a little bit bored towards like the last like 100 pages or so, because I'm like, can we just like find out what happens? Because it's like, I felt like there was a lot of buildup, and I almost kind of wanted the dad to like freak out a little bit more than he actually did. But it was so bingeable. It was so easy to finish. So basically, like, and I didn't give a halfway through check-in. I didn't even make another update on where I was in the book on Goodreads. I just listened to I read like 70 pages of it physically earlier today, and then I read another like 25 pages of it. So then I think I was already up. No, I read 50 plus like 25 pages. That was like 75 pages already. And then I listened to it while I was getting ready, and then I listened to it back and forth from where we went to go see Elio, because me and my best friend saw that movie tonight. It was so cute. Such a cute movie. I really liked it. And then when I came home, which wasn't until like 12 o'clock, because I was also listening to it on the way home, because like we went to like a couple of different places after the movie. So we went and got shakes, after the movie, so I was listening to it in the car then. And then I was also listening to it going to Target, and then I also listened to it going home from Target. So, yeah. So, like I said, I really wanted, like, kind of the dad to be a little bit more even more unhinged in the book. I mean, there were a couple of things that happened, but I don't know. I thought he was gonna freak out on her more, but... And I kind of, like, guessed, like, who did it by the end. Like, I had no idea who had killed Poppy. Well, actually, it kind of made sense who killed both Poppy and Danny. Was it Danny? Pretty sure it was Danny. Yeah. And then it made sense. So, yeah. So, don't really have much else to say. It's really late. I'm really tired. But basically, like, every other mostly every couple of chapters would, like, flash back to, like, March to June of, like, 1975, and then, like, present day. And literally the book ends in June of 2025, and I love when authors do that, when, like, they put, like, I don't know, it's just one of my favorite things when they put, like, when the book is going to be released, like, in their books. Like, if someone's writing a book in the book that you're reading, which is obviously called The Ghostwriter, I kind of wanted a bit more of an epilogue about, like, her book success and stuff, but, like, I kind of really liked how it wrapped up in the end. But also, like, Abby Jimenez's Say You'll Remember Me, she does the same thing. She, like, mentioned her release date in the book, and I just love when authors do that. It's just, like, it adds, like, so much fun, and it adds, like, an extra, like, kind of fourth wall kind of thing for the reader. But yeah, I cannot believe I finished this book already. It was just really good. I don't really have much else to say because it's really, really late at night. I might make another update tomorrow, but I just wanted to say it took me, like, no time. And then I read, like, maybe, like, 30 something pages tonight. So I read, like, over 100 pages physically. And then the rest of it I just listened to, because I think I said before that the audiobook was only 5 hours on 2 times the speed, because I always listen on 2 times the speed. Like, I have ADD, so I can listen to things a lot faster. Oh my god, I'm so talented. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go because I need to go to bed. So yeah, we're just gonna wrap up this video tomorrow, so bye. Okay, so hey there guys, so I just wanted to actually do an outro for this video and wrap up the books that we read in this mood reading vlog. So we read 3 books. That's usually my number if I do a mood reading vlog. That's usually most people's magic number when they do mood reading vlogs, but these were not all read in the same week, like, because I usually read 3 to 4 books a week. One Italian Summer I read earlier in the month, like I said, right after I finished Fire of Eileen. So we read One Italian Summer by Rebecca Surley. We read Beautiful Venom by Rena Kent, and we read The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark. And then also Beautiful Venom and Ghostwriter were read, like, back to back, like, the past 2 days. Like, I literally just finished Ghostwriter last night. So we read all really good books in this video. So, and I'm actually surprised what my favorite was. So number 3, I'm gonna do The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark. Again, it was a 4-star, but I didn't think, I don't know, with thrillers it's just, like, so hard to, like, find something new, even more so than romance, I feel like, because I've said before, I feel like with adult thrillers, I have not found an adult thriller 5-star, and I don't even know how long. I don't think I've given out a 5-star adult thriller. I've given out a 5-star for an adult thriller in, like, months. Like, not this whole year. The only one, like I said, that came close was Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney, and I might actually up that one to a 5-star, because I literally recommend that book to everyone, because, and especially the audiobook. The audiobook is pure perfection. So, I don't know. That might be the only one I would up, because I think I gave it, like, a 4.75, because I fucking loved it. But like I said, literally Alice Feeney has become my favorite adult thriller author this year. But the last, yeah, I don't think I've given an adult thriller 5 stars in quite a long time, because the last 5-star thriller that I read was That's Not My Name by Megan Lowley back in December, like I said. And that's a YA thriller. Because like I said, just YA authors do it better in thrillers. So, in the thriller genre, I mean. So, yeah, it was still good. I liked it. Very bingeable, very easy read. So, I did get a little confused at one point, and I kept on, like, zoning out at certain parts. Even reading the book, like, I felt like it was a little bit hard for me to focus on it. But that might have just been a me problem. So yeah, that was a 4-star. Then number 2 was One Italian Summer by Rebecca Surley. I gave that, I believe, a 4-star or 4.25. I don't remember if it was 4 stars or 4.25. I gotta look it up on Goodreads. But mostly all of, yeah, so yeah, 4.25 stars, which is really good. I really liked it. It was just really, really good. The only thing that I didn't love about the book is the way that she treated her husband when she went to Italy. I thought she was just, like, so mean to him, you know? Because he was just, all he was trying to do was be there for her, and I know, like, there were some things that, like, really annoyed her about him. And then she ended up being back together with him because, you know, they needed to find their ways back to each other. And I'm not saying he was perfect, but it was just a little bit mean. But other than that, it was a really, really good book. So, yeah, again, 4.25 stars. And then number 1 was Beautiful Venom by Rena Kent. I was literally obsessed with this book. I gave it a 4.5. It was just, from start to finish, I was so hooked and I was so addicted. So, now I understand why people, I mean, it's not like I haven't read dark romance, but again, I really haven't read that many. I think I've only read, like, 4. At this point, I've only read Lights Out and Caught Up by Nevessa Allen, Kiss of the Basilisk by Lindsay Strobe, and now this is, like, my 4th dark romance ever, and I really loved it. I think this might have been my favorite besides Kiss of the Basilisk, because Kiss of the Basilisk was so good. That one was a 4.5 as well, but this one, the main characters were not stupid, you know? Like the insufferable main character in Kiss of the Basilisk. So, if she wasn't so insufferable, that book would have been a 5-star. But that book would have been a 5-star. And without that, like, crazy scene with Caspian's father. Besides that, that book was so good. So, yeah. Anyway, why are we talking about past books? So, yeah, I don't really have much else to say about The Ghostwriter. Like, I feel like I could not figure out what else. Like, basically, it was very easy to understand. Like, her father was losing her mind losing his mind very, a lot more rapidly than I thought. And, like, every time she would interview him to write the book, he would, you know, switch very easily. I don't know how the hell she composed herself interviewing him, but, you know, she needed the money, but also, like, I would have liked to know, like, what happened with her and Tom at the end. I mean, because they did still stay together, so, I don't know. Again, I just wanted a little bit more from the book, but other than that, I thought it was really good. And the way he would switch, like, when she was interviewing him after she would ask him, like, a direct question was, like, pretty crazy, but it was good. And, you know, it had flashbacks from Vincent, Poppy, and I think that might have been it. Why do I feel like there was another perspective? I can't remember. I don't think they did Danny. Or maybe they did. Maybe they did Danny she did Danny a couple times, but again, it was really good. I really want to read her other book. I think it's called I See You. I don't even know. That's by Claire McIntosh, Caitlin. But yeah, that was my thriller pick for this month, so I ended up not reading Billy Summers. And actually now I have to start a reading vlog for the Ember and the Ashes series, so I'm going to go into that now and read it for a bit. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please, I was about to literally press stop when I needed to film an outro. So please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at cbw819 and check out my TikTok as well, and my Goodreads, both linked in the description box below. Follow me on Goodreads. I post every single book review there and every single book review of every book I read. And follow me on TikTok because I've been posting more book content, and I just have a lot of fun posting over there. And I hope you guys have a great day and keep reading. Bye.